Have you ever wondered how a young girl can become a key player in a brutal war? Welcome to a story that goes beyond imagination, a journey that takes us to the darkest corners of human nature and the resilience of the human spirit. This is the story of Gabby Braun. In a land divided by hatred and prejudice, where children are molded to become weapons, arises a girl whose destiny is intertwined with the future of a nation. Gabby Braun, a young Eldian born in Marley, is no ordinary girl. She is a candidate to become one of her country's most powerful weapons, the Armored Titan. Imagine a small child, with big bright brown eyes and a radiant smile. That's Gabby. But don't be fooled by her innocent appearance. Behind this young face lies a fierce determination and unwavering loyalty to a cause she barely understands. From an early age, Gabby was indoctrinated to believe that her people, the Eldians, were demons who needed redemption. And she embraced this belief with all the fervor of a child wanting to prove her worth. Her passion and stubbornness made her a promising candidate, always ready to outshine her peers and prove her value to her Marleyan superiors. But what drives a child to become so determined that she risks her own life? The answer lies in the complex web of lies and manipulations that Marley has woven over generations. Gabby grew up believing that her only chance at redemption was through military service, sacrificing herself for the nation that oppressed her. Let's turn our attention to a crucial day in Gabby's life. During a battle at Fort Slava, she demonstrated a courage bordering on madness. Imagine a small girl, dressed only in a tattered white dress, walking towards an enemy armored train with her hands up. It seems like suicide, right? But Gabby had a plan. With a bomb tied to her leg, she pretended to trip, launching the explosive onto the train tracks. The result? A derailed train, enemy soldiers dead, and Gabby laughing as she escaped. This act of bravery, or perhaps madness, solidified her position as the favorite to inherit the power of the Armored Titan. But Gabby's story is not just about bravery on the battlefield. It is a complex journey of a girl struggling to understand her place in a world that sees her as a weapon, not a child. Her fierce loyalty to Marley is confronted with realities she is not prepared to face. When her cousin Reiner, the current Armored Titan, starts recounting his experiences on Paradise Island, Gabby finds herself confused. The people she was taught to hate and fear do not seem so demonic in Reiner's stories. This is the first crack in her carefully constructed worldview. But Gabby is not someone who easily abandons her beliefs. She clings even more tightly to Marley's propaganda, promising to exterminate the demons of Paradise Island. Her determination is fueled not just by hatred, but by the desire to protect her home and family. Fate, however, has different plans for Gabby. During a surprise attack on her hometown, she witnesses horrors that no child should see. Her friends, Udo and Zofia, are brutally killed before her eyes. The pain and anger she feels at this moment are palpable, transforming into a burning desire for revenge. It is at this moment that we truly see who Gabby is. Not a trained soldier, not a Titan candidate, but a scared and furious child, determined to do something, anything, to make sense of the chaos around her. In a desperate act of courage, Gabby grabs a rifle and runs towards the battlefield. She is no longer the smiling girl we saw at the beginning. Now, she is a determined warrior, with eyes burning with fury and a heart heavy with grief. The climax of her journey comes when she manages to infiltrate an enemy airship. With the rifle in her hands, she does the unthinkable. She shoots one of the enemy soldiers. It is a moment of triumph for Gabby, but for us, observers, it is a moment of deep sadness. We see a child forced to commit terrible acts in the name of a war she barely understands. But Gabby's story does not end there. Captured and taken to Paradise Island, she is forced to confront everything she believed in. The people she was taught to hate are not the monsters she imagined. They are people, with families, dreams, and fears, just like her. This revelation shakes Gabby to her core. For the first time, she is forced to question everything she was taught. It is a painful process, filled with denial, anger, and finally, reluctant acceptance. Gabby's journey is a microcosm of larger conflicts. She represents the tragedy of children forced to fight in adult wars, the destructive power of prejudice and propaganda, and the difficult journey toward understanding and empathy. But there is also hope in Gabby's story. Her ability to question her beliefs, to grow and change, shows us that even in the darkest circumstances, there is the possibility of redemption and change. As we reflect on Gabby's journey, we are forced to ask difficult questions. As a society, what do we do with our children? What ideologies are we passing on to the next generation? And more importantly, how can we break the cycles of hate and violence that seem to perpetuate through generations? Gabby Braun's story is more than just a fictional narrative. It is a mirror reflecting our own struggles with identity, loyalty, and the search for truth in a world full of lies. It challenges us to look beyond our own beliefs and prejudices, to see the humanity even in those we consider enemies. As Gabby continues her journey, facing the challenges ahead, we cannot help but wonder, what does the future hold for this young warrior? Will she find the peace she seeks? Or will the cycle of violence continue, consuming another generation? And you, dear viewer, what would you do if you were in Gabby's place? How would you react if everything you believed was suddenly questioned? These are questions with no easy answers, but they invite us to a deep reflection on our own humanity. Gabi's story reminds us that, in the end, we are all products of our circumstances, shaped by the stories we are told and the truths we choose to believe. But it also shows us that there is always room for growth, for change, for understanding. As we bid farewell to Gabi for now, we leave you with one final question to ponder. In a world divided by walls of hate and prejudice, how can we build bridges of understanding and empathy?